In the heart of the Ural Mountains lies a stark and desolate region known as Dyatlov Pass, a place synonymous with one of the most perplexing mysteries of the 20th century. In February 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out to explore the northern slopes of Otorten, only to vanish without a trace. Their tent was found sliced open from the inside, their bodies scattered around the mountainside, each bearing strange and gruesome injuries. Despite numerous investigations, the full story behind the tragedy that befell these young adventurers has never been uncovered. As we delve into this haunting case today, we will follow the chilling journey of these 9 hikers and examine the many theories that have attempted to explain their demise. Did they succumb to an avalanche, or did something more sinister claim their lives? Join us as we unravel the secrets of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. 9 hikers, one deadly night. On February 1959, 9 members of the Ural Polytechnic Institute Ski Club, all seasoned hikers, began their journey at the age of 23, armed with nothing but their youthful vigor and some basic survival equipment. The group consisted of Yuri Doroshenko, Zinaida, Lyudmila Dubinina, Rustem Slobodin, Nikolai Thibeaux, Anatoly Bogolubov, Yekaterina Kapitsa, Nikolai Krivonischenko, and Semyon Zolotaryev. With Yuri as their leader, they set off to explore the remote wilderness of Otorten Mountain in northwest Russia. Their plan involved a leisurely trek to the nearby Otorten Pass, a spot renowned for its breathtaking scenery and perfect for cross-country skiing. But their joyride soon took a dark turn. 3 days into their expedition, on the night of February 2nd, they set up camp in a secluded valley nestled between 2 mountains. This isolated spot would soon become the scene of a horrifying tragedy. Around 11 p.m., a sudden and violent blizzard swept across the region, forcing the hikers to seek shelter in their tent. At first, it seemed like just another challenging day on the trail. And as the storm raged outside, the hikers huddled together inside their tent, sharing stories and jokes to keep their spirits high. But little did they know that this seemingly ordinary night would end in unimaginable horror. When the morning sun finally pierced through the heavy clouds, revealing a clear blue sky, the other campers were horrified to find Yuri lying lifeless on the ground outside the tent, his face frozen in a silent scream. His body bore no visible injuries except for a small gash on his forehead, suggesting that he had fallen. Alarmed by their friend's condition, the remaining hikers quickly made a grim decision. They needed to descend the mountain immediately. As they packed their belongings and prepared to leave, they noticed something that sent shivers down their spines. Their tent had been slashed open from the inside, as if someone or something had tried to escape in the middle of the night. Fearful and confused, they decided to abandon the tent and make their way down the mountain as fast as possible. Along the way, they stumbled upon some disturbing clues that only deepened the mystery surrounding Yuri's death. His camera was missing, and when they retraced his steps, they discovered a strange indentation in the snow, as if something heavy had been dragged along the ground. As the hikers made their way down the mountain, they came across the remains of a campfire. Initially, they were relieved to find this, thinking that they could warm themselves by the fire and continue their descent. However, what they didn't realize was that they had just stumbled upon a critical piece of evidence that would forever change the course of this investigation. The missing hikers. News of the incident spread like wildfire, sending shock waves throughout the small town of Berezniki. Soon enough, a search party was assembled to comb through the area and hopefully bring the missing hikers back safely. But as days turned into weeks and the search yielded no results, hope began to dwindle. It wasn't until almost a month later that a local resident stumbled upon a horrifying discovery. While walking near the mountain, he spotted a pair of ski boots sticking out from beneath some rocks. Immediately, he alerted the authorities, who launched a massive search operation. What they found in the following days was beyond their wildest imaginations. On February, the search team located the tent near the Dyatlov Pass, half buried in snow. Inside the tent, they found the bodies of 6 of the missing hikers. Their faces were contorted in terror, their eyes wide open as if frozen in a silent scream. But it was what they found outside the tent that truly shocked them. The bodies of 3 more hikers were found lying on the ground nearby. 2 of them were partially clothed, and all 3 had severe injuries, including skull fractures and internal bleeding. All 9 bodies were eventually recovered from the mountain. And after a thorough examination, the cause of death remained a mystery. There were no signs of trauma on any of the bodies, leading the investigators to believe that they had not been murdered. Yet the question of how they died remained unanswered. Moreover, the state of the tent and the injuries sustained by some of the hikers suggested a struggle of some sort, but there was no clear indication of what caused it. A series of investigations were launched to get to the bottom of the mystery, but each one produced inconclusive results. The official inquiry labeled the deaths as being caused by an unknown compelling force. While this explanation may seem unsatisfying, it is important to consider the context of the time. At the height of the Cold War, the Soviet Union was a tightly controlled state where information could be easily suppressed. If the investigators had concluded that the hikers' deaths were due to some natural phenomenon, such as an avalanche, it may have been easier to dismiss the case. However, by attributing the deaths to an unknown compelling force, they were able to avoid making definitive statements while still acknowledging that something unusual had occurred. This lack of closure left the families of the victims searching for answers elsewhere. Rumors began to spread like wildfire through the small town, with many believing that the hikers had stumbled upon a secret military base and been eliminated by Soviet agents. Others believed that the hikers had encountered a Yeti-like creature known as the Mansi, which was said to inhabit the Ural Mountains. As the years went on, more outlandish theories emerged, including claims that the hikers had been abducted by aliens, or that they had somehow triggered a mysterious energy field hidden beneath the mountain. Despite the abundance of theories, none could be proven, leaving the true story of the Dyatlov Pass incident shrouded in mystery. But what really happened to these 9 hikers? Did they die a horrific and slow death? What about the state of the tent? How did it get torn apart? These questions are still unanswered, but there are a few theories that might shed some light on the terrifying events of that fateful night. Avalanche. 1. Of the prevailing theories is that the hikers were caught in an avalanche and the force of the moving snow caused their tent to collapse and their bodies to sustain injuries. However, an avalanche would not explain why the tent was cut open from the inside. It is possible that as the avalanche hit the tent, the force was so strong that it caused the zipper to break open the tent. Another theory suggests that the hikers panicked when they realized they were trapped in an avalanche and began frantically cutting open the tent in an attempt to escape. However, this theory does not explain the extent of some of the injuries sustained by the hikers, such as skull fractures. Creature attack. Another chilling theory is that the hikers were attacked by a wild animal. Perhaps a hungry predator managed to sneak into the tent and cause havoc among the sleeping campers. However, there were no signs of a struggle inside the tent, and no animal attacks had been reported in the area. Furthermore, the hikers were experienced outdoorsmen, and it is unlikely that they would not have noticed an animal approaching their camp. Secret military tests. Given that the incident occurred during the height of the Cold War, some believe that the hikers may have stumbled upon a secret military testing site and been eliminated by Soviet agents. There were rumors of secret weapons testing and bizarre government experiments taking place in the Ural Mountains at the time. And perhaps the hikers unwittingly became casualties of these covert operations. Alien abduction. Perhaps the most outlandish theory is that the hikers were abducted by aliens who used them for nefarious purposes. Some believe that the strange injuries sustained by some of the hikers could be explained by advanced alien technology, and that the tent was torn open by the aliens as they prepared to take their captives away. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, and it is largely based on speculation and conjecture. The truth is that the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most perplexing mysteries of the 20th century. Despite numerous investigations and countless theories, the full story behind the tragedy has never been uncovered. What happened to these 9 hikers on that fateful night in February 1959 continues to haunt our imaginations and serve as a reminder of the mysteries that still remain in our world.